what's the use in having a welded diff if you don't use it? Well, you guys are about to get a first-hand view of what it's like to resurrect a vehicle that's been sitting a long time, improperly maintained in the weather in the Pacific Northwest, and it's a struggle. It's an absolute disaster when you're trying to fix something that somebody else already regarded as junk. And she's gonna be edited in the zip ties and bias plies style. Yeah! It's a whole lot of junk, and I hope you enjoy the video.
You've been chosen for a specific mission.
To turn her into a museum, sir? The wonderful world of corrosion?
Hardly.
Well, hunting season's over, so I guess it's time to get the hunting truck going. But this is what we usually use for scouting. It's my dad's old CJ. I think it's a CJ5. I don't even know what year this thing is. We picked it up off Marketplace like 10 years ago or so. I think we picked it up for like 1,500 bucks, and it did run and drive, but tabs are 5 years old, so it's been sitting here probably at least that long. It's got stuff growing on it. It was full of bees this summer. I think it's like a 258 inline 6. There's nothing about this Jeep that's stock. Everything on it has just been hacked together like some teenage kid went at it with a dull chainsaw. Like the floorboards, it's a disaster. Like they just went at it with a pair of tin snips or something. Like it's bad. Time to get it going again. He parked it because he lost the clutch pedal and the clutch master cylinder didn't have any fluid in it. He put some in it and went to try to drive it, still had no clutch, and the bleeder screw was stripped out. This thing's been cobbled together with some hydraulic menagerie. Yeah, I don't know when's the last time it was running. I don't know what condition the fuel was in. Well, there's nothing in the filter, so that's always a good start. The battery connections are obviously junk, because why wouldn't they? I don't even know where the dipstick is on this thing. I've never spun a wrench on this. Let's see, has it got any coolant? It's got something. It's got solids floating on the top, so you know it's good. The hood has been closed. Oh, it looks clean in there. Oh, it's got crude. It's fairly clean. It's kind of close to the full mark. Oh, the fan belt's loose. Okay, motor's free. It spins over. And the other day I tried to push the clutch down and the pedal was stuck, like hard stuck. 2 foot to get it to break free. And it kind of has some pedal. Like there's way too much free play. But I don't think there's any clutch happening because I can't get it to come out of gear. Oh, hey, look at that. Well, the only thing I did the other day was pump the crap out of the clutch, hoping something would happen. Group 31, because all the cranking power. We're not going to worry about this ground that's missing right now because it's grounded to the block. So, kind of just want to see if it's going to roll over. That's a good thing it's the ground side. Does that one reach? Oh, barely. At least that one's brass. Kind of just hoping it's gonna crank. What was it? These two, I think. Got kind of clicking. It's not much click. That is signal, right? Why is there 2 wires on that? It's normally 1. This one? Can't. The solenoid doesn't sound very happy. It normally goes a ka-chunka-chunka and not a whatever that's doing. 12.6 on the battery. 12.6 to the solenoid. Okay, so we got good power. So have we already ruled out that the solenoid is junk? Let's go grab jumper cables and we'll bypass it. We should only need to add power going direct to the starter. We should be able to do it up here at the solenoid. Oh, we're getting some fuel. The fuel looks disgusting and everything's getting hot. That's how you know it's good. Probably a lot of battery connections because that's just the way it goes. But it's pumping fuel, so there's something in the tank. Let's see what that fuel smells like.
Let's have a smell, all right?
I bet it's going to be just aromatherapy of mechanics perfume. Oh, that fuel line's pretty hard. Oh yeah, that's probably 3, maybe 4-year-old fuel, judging by the vintage of the smell. But that's not bad. That's probably good enough for this old engine to run on. It's probably going to need a little ether down the hole to get it to pop off. Let's see, is there anything to the carb yet? How does this throttle work? Is there any liquid in there? I don't see anything coming out of the booster yet. So it's gonna need some more crank. See if we can fill up that float bowl. It's cranking kind of slow, but who knows if this battery's any good. It load tested down to like 11.5 volts. So it's probably good enough, but we'll kill it cranking it for sure. Battery cables are sizzling. Hey, that's a nice convenient hand warmer right now. Got any go juice yet? Oh yeah, we got squirters coming out of the boosters. Well, now we need some ignition. Let's see if it'll fire off. Do I want to hot wire it? So it'd probably just be 12 volt power to that guy, but I'll go ask Dad and see if he still knows where the keys are for this thing. Well, it says gas on it, but Dad said he thinks this is the key. That's okay. Yeah, it turns. Well, hopefully the ignition is on. Oh, maybe that's supposed to stay up there. Oh, hey, it cranks. So the ignition's a little sticky, but that should be the on position. Is it gonna fire on that shitty old fuel? I'm rather doubtful. But you never know. Let's give it a try. Wait a minute, why was the solenoid working with the key, but it wasn't working out here when I tried to bypass it? Whatever. Yeah, let's get some Cosby sauce. Oh, ain't much there. Are we getting low? I'm pretty sure I got another can around here somewhere.
You one bump, get my head straight.
Just a little bump. Get your head straight. Not even a fart. Could you quit sizzling? You're fine. Still pumping fuel, right? Yeah, still pumping fuel. We'll just give it a whole lot. And then some ether on top. You gonna crank with the key? Well, it was. Oh, come on. You were working a minute ago. It's off. It's supposed to be crank. We'll assume that's key on. I wonder if the solenoid is just on its way going out. What the hell? Nobody's doing anything now? Okay. Chooch! Might need more cranking power. Oh, the Geo is the elite jumper box.
Oh shit.
With its 35 amps of alternator power, powered by 3 cylinders of angry squirrels that are resurrected from the dead years ago and daily drive the crap out of. How about here? Try that. Blackberries. Well, it's definitely lugging it down. I think I got another set of jumper cables that are pretty junk, and one of them doesn't work. We'll use that for boosting across the solenoid. It's already junk. Might as well cut it up and see if we can make it work. Yeah, it's kind of on there.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
I tried for a second. Oh, that battery connection is just... Is that thing melting? Why is everything I own just... Oh, is that in trash too? Of course it is. I bet you this one's full of corrosion. Okay, so that works. Nothing going to the coil. See, can I even see through there?
I can't see fucking shit out of this thing.
Oh yeah, that'll do. Got 0.2 going to the coil, and the ignition doesn't seem to be doing anything. So is the ignition switch junk? Or is the wiring junk? Or both? Let's see if I can hot wire it. This is probably going to be a bad idea. I got a spark tester in line. I'm going to take a chunk of this tie wire. I'm going to see if I can hot jump the coil. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Maybe it'll arc out all over the place and I'll catch it on fire. Okay, so that should have power. Full 12 volts, so it's a little bit hot for that coil, but why is there already sizzling noises? Oh, we got spark. Okay, so either the ignition switch is shot. Oh, that wire got right warm. Either the ignition switch is shot and it's not sending power, or we got a bad connection is very likely. But so that was supplying power to the coil, which means that the coil is functioning and the coil is sending signal to the distributor. The distributor is spinning round and round because it's sending the signal out, causing the engine to fire. So we can take this guy out, put mismatched spark plug back on there, and so we'll chase the wires back, figure out where they go. I'd imagine this being an old ass Jeep, it probably goes right to the ignition switch, and Dad was just telling me he's had to fiddle with it before because it would lose spark intermittently. So that puts my guess on the ignition switch. Let's pull that out and have a look at it.
Just look at it.
Whatever this disaster is. So we know it's not sending power out. Wonder if there's enough room to get this out of the dash. It's a nice little set of Chinas. Can you come out of there, please? Come on. Okay, so here's our ignition switch. Dad said he had to fiddle. Oh, yeah, there's people have been in here. Oh, we got fuses and butt connectors and all sorts of goodness. Oh, that's even been melty before. But I don't want to send full power voltage to the coil because that can kill it. Normally these have a resistor somewhere in line to knock the voltage down. I think it's like 9 volts or something like that. But I'd imagine we probably got quite the wiring mess going on right here. So we got that one's wrapped up in electrical tape. That one is. That's probably had a splice on it at some point in its life. We got this one that's been cut and crimped and a fuse. Wait, do we have a pop fuse? No, that looks good. But now it's trying to crank again. And it's running. So we got a shit connection here somewhere because all we did was take it out and move it around. Oh, that starter sounds lovely. Also, it's only got power going to the coil when it's cranking. So the ignition switch is probably shot. Oh. Yeah, so it's only getting spark to let the engine run when it's in the crank position. So something wampus is going on here. I remember running into that before, but I don't remember what was causing it. It wasn't on this, it was on something else, but see, as soon as the starter kicks out, the motor shuts off. So we got a connection issue somewhere. Not happy. So it only fires in crank but not in run, so the coil isn't getting power either from the ignition switch or all the way to the coil when the key's in the run position. And it's always the pinkish color wire is supposed to be a, or is it a nickel cadmium resistance wire to knock the voltage down. So this guy here should be our power supply coming from the ignition switch. And the closest color of that we got is orange. Because it's definitely not red out under the hood. And that says ignition. Oh, why is this warm? This definitely got some terrible connections where it's all melted here. But this guy here should be the ignition from the switch out to the coil. We'll just jiggle it around a couple times and hopefully it's just a connection here at the switch, because I'm just guessing where everything's been heated up, everything's gotten hot here at some point, so it's probably just losing the connection right there. How about now? There we go. Okay, so it's sending power out to the coil. So now we can mess with it out there and get the carburetor to live. I can definitely smell the ether burning. Give it a little fuel. The hell happened? You were cranking good with the key. Oh, this is getting hot already. Wonder if this isn't even copper. This is probably like steel coated wire or some garbage. Chinesium trash.
Not even funny anymore.
See, it's trying to throw the voltage at it, but nope. Why is it crank with the key, but it won't crank when you bypass it out here? That doesn't make any sense. It cranks from inside, but it won't crank out here. Imagine that. So how am I supposed to mess with the key? Hopefully not screwing up that connection while I get the carburetor dialed. Well, I guess we'll just try and do it with the throttle. This connection is just exquisitely shit. Jam it on the other side of the connector. Hopefully it's tighter. Hey! Come on! Oh yeah, lovely noises. Can I, like... What a piece of fucking shit. Oh, come on. You can do it. Yeah, look at that. We got a runner. Wow, this thing is quiet. Might as well see if it'll move, see if it's got a clutch. Not that we're worried about running over the shitty jumper cables, but Oh, that'll be nice and dry, I'm sure. The throw-out bearing makes a bit of noise. Shit everywhere. We'll just not worry about using the brake, because I bet if we kick the ignition switch, it'll shut off. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like there's much there for a clutch. Pumping it. Is there, I don't know what does what over here, or if anything even moves. What is that, a skateboard wheel? Yeah, nothing really moves on the T-case. I think it's a 4-speed. Ah! Oh. Nope. No clutch. Does the e-brake work?
That didn't sound for shit.
That didn't feel for shit. Oh! Yeah! E-brake pedal stuck to the floor. So, I guess we're gonna have to do something about the clutch before we can move it. Turn off? I bet if I touch this enough times it will. Or not. I guess now it works. Oh, it shuts off. How's the refire? So it starts back up good now. So it's probably just a shitty connection there. So now let's see if we can figure out something to do. See if we can get this clutch to come back to life. I don't know if it's the pedal, the hydraulics, or if the clutch disc is stuck. Oh, okay, so it's shifting now. First, second, third, fourth. Is reverse? Oh, reverse is up. I don't remember what that shift pattern is. Is that a T18? Wait, can we start it in gear? Okay, so there's some clutch. It's in gear, and I got the clutch down. Yeah, the clutch is all the way on the floor. Uh-oh. But the steering column's stuck. Ah! Ugh. That's not good. And it doesn't have power steering either to help. Ah! Well, I don't know if any of the gauges work. Well, it says it's got oil pressure. The amps are reading in the positive, but it's not very good if you can't steer it. Oh! Ah! Come on. Probably doesn't help that the tires are almost flat, but it's trying. It wants to move. Now, I don't think it's going to roll with how flat those tires are, but to get that steering broke free, use the old jack-all.
Shake hands with danger.
Farm jack, whatever you want to call it. The most dangerous jack in the world. We'll jack up the front end. See if we can get that steering to move. Yep, that's about as high as I want to go, because it's already trying to move. The tires don't look so flat now. And we'll just hose everything. So we got a U-joint. Try and get that in around the cap area. There's a bearing that's right here, or a bushing. That's a good noise. Oh. Damn. Kind of feels like it's something up in here. Wonder if I can... wonder what's in there. Yeah, I can pull those screws off and shoot it full of some juice. Good old Leatherman. I don't even know what this is here for. Hopefully there's an access hole under it. Looks like an access hole to me. What is that, a contact for something? Just how's that? Sounds like a dying animal. Well, I've tried about everything I can do to get that clutch system to bleed, but the fluid that's coming out of it is just disgusting. It's almost tar-like. And I got a feeling what happened is at some point water got in here and the clutch master cylinder isn't returning all the way because there's all sorts of play in the pedal. That plunger should be coming out and pushing on this, well, pushing on that end of it to lift the pedal, and that's what allows full travel so you can get it to bleed. But I think the piston is stuck. There's like a rust ring in here, probably from just sitting, and the piston won't travel all the way back, so it's not giving me full travel to bleed the clutch, and the fluid that's in it is disgusting. So we're just gonna start it in gear and see if we can take it for a quick rip. Hopefully, is that battery gonna clear? That battery is not gonna clear. Shit. Yeah, we'll throw a ratchet strap on that real quick. See, because if that side hits the hood, it's the ground, so it's fine. So, yeah, that'll do. Good enough for a quick rip, as long as it's gonna fire back up. The steering is kind of freed up. It's probably gonna take some time for that oil to work down through there. Okay, in gear. It's still kind of warm. It hasn't been that long. Oh, okay. Shit. It's got less clutch than it did before. Ah, crap. Whatever. We're gonna run with it. I guess we're just gonna go around the house. Boy, it's idling pretty good. I'm not even using the throttle. Can I get it back into first? Oh, crap. Okay, first gear. That's better. Definitely no clutch. Steering is still shit. No, don't die. Oh yeah, fresh dog shit on the tire. That's what you're gonna want. Don't die. I have no idea how much fuel's in the tank. Oh! I told Dad I wanted to put power steering on this the day he got it. I think I have the justification now. Turn!
No, don't do this. Don't start with me. No.
And now we have the start issue again. Oh yeah, lovely noises. What is clicking? Oh, the turn signal works. Come on. Oh, lovely noises. Oh, nope, I don't want to do that. Sorry, Dad. I messed up your lawn. Ah! Whatever. I guess that's the test drive we're gonna get. Safety is not a thing. Crap. Dad wants me to go a little further, so I got the ignition switch out. I'm gonna have to find one. Super generic part. Of course, no one has it. I've already gone through and tore apart the clutch system. Both the master and the slave were full of just nasty black schmoo. So I pulled the master cylinder out. There was a rust line in the back, and I reached in there with some emery cloth, cleaned it up so that the piston's traveling all the way. Blew the lines out, blew everything out, some compressed air. Yeah, I know you're not supposed to do that because you're adding water into the system because there's water in the air. It's fine. It's fine. It's a hunting truck. As long as the clutch functions, my dad's a happy camper. So finally got it bled out. It's got a good clutch now. I even aired up all the tires.
And what the hell is that smell?
I definitely just leaned in dog shit on the tire again. Let's see. I think I've got convinced Dad to let me pressure wash it. I mean, it might lose some structure in a few places. I gave the T-case a couple shots of penetrating oil, and they're all moving now. But I think I'm gonna roll this thing over in front of the pressure washer. I need a pick-me-up. Saying goodbye to part of my childhood today. Our old 64 F100. She's had better days. A lot better days. It's been sitting for 19 years. It was my brother that was driving it. And he thought he blew the head gasket. So all those years ago, we took the heads off, sent them out, had them rebuilt. And I went and plucked the block out of it the other day. I'll splice in a little clip here. So here's the block. I initially thought it was just locked up because it had been sitting. So I was pouring ATF on it every day, and I was coming over and tapping on it, trying to get the rings to break free. And then this cylinder broke free, and it broke in a way I wasn't expecting. Here's the piston for it. Yeah, she had a bit of a bad day. And parts for these old girls are pretty much unobtainium in my area. Number one rod is gone. So you see, that's what you call a disconnecting rod. It's the opposite of a connecting rod. 2 is bent, 3 is bent, 4 is incredibly bent. It's actually hitting the cheek on the crank. I haven't looked too close to the rest of it. It doesn't really matter. The block, unfortunately, is gone. When this rod kicked loose, see this massive crack right here. Oh! Runs right through the front of the block, runs down the side. So this corner of the block is it's done. And haven't been able to find one. So it's time for that old girl to go to the scrapyard in the sky. So I need a pick-me-up. I need to drive that Jeep and get some happy mechanic vibes going. Oh yeah. Now that's cool. We'll grab the side emblems too. What's that, like cast aluminum? I think it's beefy. See you later, old girl. Usually when I'm doing a repair like this, you know, well, preferably I'd have a new pigtail, one that isn't all melted. But normally what I'll do is leave about a ½ inch of wire sticking out of the back when I cut this pigtail off. That way you can see the size of the wire and the color of the wire. And that tells you when you go to put your new switch in, color to position where it'll go on the new switch. But being that half of these wires have shit spliced into them in multiple locations, some of them going to nothing, a bunch are just wrapped in electrical tape, so we have no idea what color they are or what damage is on the wire. Just gonna go one by one and cut each wire off, re-terminalize it, and stick it onto the new switch so that this doesn't get out of order. Yeah, I'm gonna say not just by the melted hole that she got hot at some point, but this also isn't how you're supposed to fix things. And I'm not bitching, I've done some shady repairs, but if you melt the wiring so bad that you've got 4 inches of exposed copper, you should probably figure out why that happened and maybe cut that section out. This electrical tape, yeah, that'll get you home. It'll keep it from burning up for a little while. When you've chased that wire 8 inches up and it's still melted and stuck to everything, it was definitely sticking to the main power wire for the ignition switch right here. So I just decided I'm gonna run a new wire, and I decided I was gonna locate it here. And what do I find? A butt connector. Also stuck to the green wire that is still melted all the way out here. So somebody replaced a 2-foot section of the wire instead of the whole thing. Wonderful. Well, that should be everything for the ignition switch, other than there's one wire I gotta do. Now it should be plain for everyone to see that this Jeep just needs a wire harness. Like, it is hacked on a different level. But we're gonna make it work for today. And maybe eventually we'll go through and get this guy tidied up proper. Make sure you lose your wire stripper so that you have to use your Leatherman. That makes you a professional. Own the tool for the job and lose it. Then you can go back on the tool truck and buy another one for 4 times the proper price. That's another thing I could bitch about all day long. These pliers right here, these are Knipex. These are the best of the best, but they're branded as Mac tools. So I paid $80 for these when I could have gone to the Platt Electronics store and bought the Knipex brand ones for 30 bucks. Battery still hasn't gotten any lighter. Probably check and make sure the key is off. Maybe that is off, I don't know. I'm gonna find out the hard way. If we have any sparks, I guess that means something's on. No spark, that's good. Also could mean the battery's dead, who knows. Okay, is anybody getting hot? I don't feel any heat in anything. Okay. Key on. Probably make sure it's out of gear. That'd be run, start. Hey, we got crank. Okay. Do we need ether already? It's only been sitting like 4 days. Got a choke flap, but the linkage is gone. I don't know where that would hook up. Never worked on one of these single barrel carbs.
A las demandas y a la demanda.
There we go. No, no, no. Damn it. Okay, so is it getting fuel? Still got the filters full. What in the, oh. Yeah, it's squirting fuel. I mean, it is cold, so. Let's see if I can run the throttle. Maybe that old fuel is junk. Well, I know it's junk. It's been sitting for years. See if I can keep it running. That's probably way too much ether. The hell? Well, I know the ignition's working because it was running. It did freeze last night. Why die? Let it set for just a second. That little bit of heat from it firing warmed it enough. One more shot of ether and it fired up. Let's see if we can get it over to the pressure washer. Yummy. That was definitely hooked to a plastic bottle. That's some shit I would have done in high school. See, the hood's gonna clear. Some battery connections. Oh yeah, we're good. All right. How do we do, clutch? Still feels like there's a clutch. Oh yeah. Goes into forward gears. That's far better than it was. Are we in neutral? Yeah, we're in neutral. Okay. So the clutch isn't all the way there, but it's also not completely on the floor. Pretty sure this thing's got a welded rear end. Hey, the brakes kind of work. Ah. It's first. Oh, that's so much better. What the hell happened there? Oh, it popped out of gear. Which one's high and which one's low? That feels like low. So is that high? Yeah, I think that's high. Yeah, it's definitely got, it feels like it's only front brakes. All right, let's get this thing washed. Just turn off with the key. Yeah, how's the refire? It's not even warm, but not bad at all. All right, so is that, I don't know if anything else in this thing works. That's good. We'll just put that back. She made quite the transformation, as I figured she would. There's plenty of Bondo. It was just, oh, that's all right. Yeah, it was definitely just wire brushed and very roughly, and someone just shot it with spray paint. Yeah, that's fine. Floorboards gone, all cracked. Tubs cracked in several places. All the tub mounts that were covered in moss, they're just disintegrating. But this is about what I would expect for, you know, a 70s Jeep. You know, you can, that's about what I expect. And this tub could be saved. I mean, there's even still good sheet metal in it. You could cut some patch panels, but I think I'm just gonna keep an eye out for a tub. Oh, look at that, the seat is just rotting apart. The springs are hanging out of it. But All right, let's go give it an air dry. I know everything's wet, but it should be fine. These Jeeps have seen far worse in wartime. Choke? Maybe. Oh, lovely. Yeah, it needs choke. Is there... I don't think there's even a cable for the choke, so we'll have to get a cable for it. Well, see if we can... Come on. It'd be so much easier if you were mounted in the dash, but I'm stupid and I want to do it the hard way. Maybe it doesn't need choke? Look at that, the fender just comes up with it. Took most of the structure out with that paint. Let's see if we can take it for a little spin. Get a little air dry action going. Did I say if that was low or high? I don't remember. Yeah, this thing's definitely got a welded rear end. Oh, turn back the other way. So it runs kind of poopy. It's also really cold. The steering's getting better though. The windshield is definitely kind of floppy. I don't know, is this... Oh, it's not even latched. All of the windshield. Oh, and the latch is stuck. Ah! Ah! How is that? Well, it doesn't... Oh, neither one of them are latched. Wonderful. Ah. I mean, that's definitely better than it was. Man, that clutch is heavy. Turn. I guess it doesn't really matter if I turn. I'm in a Jeep. Oh, maybe turn that way. Uh-oh. Don't do that. It does not like first gear in high range, but I remember that being a Jeep thing. I mean, I've only driven, I think, 2 other Jeeps. I don't know how, but the heater's working. So there's something electrical on this that actually works. Still does not like reverse. Come on, girl. Oh, there goes my phone. See if we can take it for a spin around the neighborhood without it dying. I'm sure some old timer would just enjoy the crap out of this thing. Uh-oh, don't die. Probably bring back all sorts of childhood memories for them. For me, it was Toyotas. But Dad's always liked Jeep, always wanted one. Found this one for the right price. Decided to say send it and bought it. And then let it sit for however long. And wow, these mirrors don't. Yeah, you're not really helpful. This one kind of works. Ugh. I don't think that fuel gauge works, and I have no idea how much fuel is in this thing. Oh, come on. Yeah, that clutch still ain't all there. It's on the floor now. Oh. Jeep things. Come on. This thing needs power steering in the worst way. I remember all my Toyotas when I was a teenager were manual steering. And that was like the first thing I ever changed, is convert them over to power steering. I guess I better figure out what this motor is so I can find whatever brackets I need and a pump. See how low range does. Does low range? Oh, okay, there's a second. Because first gear is an ultra low. I don't think we need that low. His motor idles good, but it doesn't throttle up very nice. Probably go over the plugs. I'm not even sure about this windshield. What if we... Because this thing lays down, don't it? I don't know, I'm not a Jeep guy. Yeah, it does. Oh yeah. Way better visibility. Nothing seems to move, but the fan works. What more do you need in a hunting truck than a heater? And if the heater isn't working, you got all this hot air coming from the exhaust where somebody hacked the crap out of the floorboard. I don't think the temp gauge works either. We've been dinking around for about 10 minutes. She's still sitting on cold. Yeah, that clutch is starting to not be happy. We better get her back home before it runs out of fuel or runs out of clutch. I think I'm gonna tear the steering column out, make this thing steer at least better than it does. Ah! Oh, come on. Gotta get the cool angles, man. Temp gauge is finally starting to do something. Temp gauge is reading 0. Oil pressure is full of water, so I can't see it, but it looks like it's about 40 psi. Probably don't need that fan going. Oh, the steering. Terrible. So that's where the bees were at this summer. I was trying to figure out how they were coming out all these little holes and shit when I was trying to cut the blackberries off of this thing. It runs. Is it gonna stay? It wasn't wanting to wrap up. That's a nice vacuum line. So it's split on that end. This end was just kind of sitting on the distributor. So let's nip that off. I want to rev it up, see if that advance is working. Part of the misfire that we were hearing was probably the fact that the battery had already fallen down and was sitting on the distributor. It's a nice grommet there. We'll just leave that guy. How is... Well, the end might be split, but it's still on there good. Just kind of once over in things. It's got a little creaking and popping in the steering because the ball joint next to the pitman arm. And then it's got another creak and pop because the driver's side leaf spring, the back bushing is bad. So when you steer, the back of the leaf spring goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk, side to side. It's not really enough to matter. It's got a really bad exhaust leak. It's also got a cracked manifold there. And right there. And whatever this flap guy is for heating up the bottom of the carburetor so that it atomizes the fuel better. That guy's just kind of... Oh no, it does still have the spring on it. I guess I should have checked that when it was cold. Yeah, if you guys don't know, these old school carburetors, they had issues with when the fuel was coming down, it would be atomized, so it was droplets. So you want to take and heat that fuel up and it partially vaporizes it because the vapor is easier to light off in the combustion palace. So they would add these, you can see the exhaust manifold and the carburetor are bolted together, and there's this little flappy guy here that would basically deadhead the exhaust when the engine was cold, so that it would heat up the bottom of the intake so that when the fuel dropped through, it would hit that hot surface and vaporize it. This is old school technology. This was partly for emissions, even though there wasn't a lot of emissions back in the day, but it makes a big difference. It's kind of like if you've ever owned anything that has a tunnel ram intake, they take forever to warm up because they got them big long runners, and it takes forever for that atomized fuel coming out of the carburetor, coming down, soak everything and start distributing through. And because it's cold, it's just droplets and it coughs and sputters. It doesn't build power. But once it warms up, the bottom of the runners help to vaporize that fuel. And then it distributes, and then all of a sudden it makes all kinds of power. It's, I mean, I guess Chrysler, Jeep, Mopar, it's all the same shit. But that was a big thing back in the day. Not really needed for modern multi-port injection. GM alternator was charging good. The hoses are crispy, like unbelievably. Crunchy. They got all sorts of rust in them. So the heater hoses, radiator hoses, they need to be replaced and flush it a couple times because there's all sorts of rust in the system. Has it got any pressure? I can't squeeze the hose because these are the ones that got the cable inside of them. Oh, no pressure. It is still liquid though. And it didn't overheat, didn't even really get hot. I mean, everything's warm. The heater was working. So yeah, it probably needs a tune-up. I'd say an oil change because that oil filter is ancient as all hell. But let's go park it on flat ground, see if we can get that, you know, let's see if it'll just move. Vacuum advance on the distributor. Yeah, it does move. And now that that's hooked up, if the diaphragm functions, then it should run a little better at the high RPM. Oh, now let's see. See if I can get my mouth on there. Normally they make a little vacuum pump for doing this. No. And I definitely just got a bunch of rust in my mouth. Okay, vacuum advance does not work at all. Oh, that rust tastes wonderful with Copenhagen. A little bit more work to go. All right, well, the story goes on. If you notice, that's not the color of the fluid that's supposed to be coming out of your transmission. And I was definitely too retarded to check fluids before I decided to take it for a spin because I got excited. Can you blame me? I got it running, so I wanted to take it for a spin. Boy, that's in a really stupid place compared to the transmission cross member. I'm trying to get onto that drain plug because I probably drained out, oh geez, about a gallon of water out of the transmission already. And now I need to pull the drain plug because that means, because your oil floats on top of the water and the water was about here, which means the oil was up here, which means from the drain plug down is still completely full of water. I started questioning that when there was water dripping out of the bell housing. I was like, oh, maybe that was from when I was pressure washing. No, it's leaking out of there because it's coming through the main shaft seal because the transmission is completely over full because it's full of water and then the oil is way up on top. So I'm gonna have to jack up the S end and fill this transmission full of diesel and run this thing in gear for a while to get that milkshake out of it, and the diesel and maybe some ATF that'll help break it up, free it up while keeping it somewhat lubricated. And you keep it on the jack stand so there's no load and it doesn't beat the crap out of the bearings. I do still have to check the transfer case. The front diff is good. It needs service, and I still got to check the rear. But we're going to pull that plug out, and we're going to see a lot of water. Oh, that's been in there a minute. Okay, this is... I believe it's going to start pissing rather joyfully, so I'm going to scoot back. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah, it's got fluid. It's pretty clean too. We're gonna have to break these back tires off for sure and inspect the brakes because the front brake pot was empty. How are you still here after a test drive? Blackberries. They grow everywhere around here. And they suck. Oh, why has the T-case got to be a different size? Why do they do that? That is a tiny little transfer case. Is it you? Nope, not you. See, these little 12-point socket sets that you can pick up dirt cheap from Harbor Freight come in real handy when you don't feel like getting a crescent wrench in there. Let's hope for oil, or at the very least, no water.
Well, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other, and see which gets filled first.
Oh, we got a milkshake. Okay, so T-case needs to be cleaned out as well. Oh, that's lovely. Glug, glug, glug. It's like a 6-liter head gasket. See, is that just, yep. Oh yeah, lovely. We're gonna fill it from here so she's nice and full. Oh yeah, get that into you, girl. It's good for what ails you. Man, whoever invented non-venting gas cans, you're an asshole. Also, can we bring back flexi nozzles? I hate those hard plastic ones. They suck. All right. Now I got to find a pump so I can fill the T-case from down below. Let's see. I think I still got... Yep, I still got a pump. Okay. And the draw straws with it. Okay, we just need an empty jug, which I think I got... Well, there's got to be an empty one up here somewhere. And that one's empty, but it's already got oil on it. Ah, fuck it, we'll use it. Still a little Lucas in there. That ain't gonna hurt. See if I can make a giant mess again. Where's the view gauge on this thing? Or does it not have one? Okay, we have to go buy. Ah, man, with how expensive diesel is, I get really tired of making messes like that. Yep, overfilled it. Oh well. It'll return to the dirt where it came from. Everybody can freak out about it. Alright, transmission and T-case are full of oil. And I need a block that is at least 16 inches, preferably about 20, to get the ass end of this thing off the ground. Because I'm at Dad's house where I don't have jack stands. All he's got is oil change ramps. And the only thing I can think of, I got some cedar shake bolts over there from a tree job years ago. Those might just be the ticket. 25 and 26. Oh, I hope they're not that rotten. Maybe it's just the outside. Maybe we'll get lucky. Man, I gotta do a lot of shit the hard way. But this is also the way I did it when I was a kid. Whatever you got, and you made it work, because you didn't have nothing else. Here's the test. Does it fall apart? Nope, solid enough. Works for me. Before I engage the danger, I'm gonna think and do something smart.
Marty.
And that's block the front tires. So when I jack this thing up, it doesn't try and run away from me. And it hurts to have a couple spare saddle blocks laying around. 26 is buried. I don't know when the last time Dad ran the 44. Let's see if it'll fire. Oh. Has it got any go juice? Oh, there's a little bit. We don't need much. Yeah, it might be enough to do the job. If she fires. I don't know how long it's been since Dad ran this one. Get off there. Let's see. Usually these 044s are pretty reliable. Oh yeah, she'll go. They're gonna end up as kindling anyway. Oh, what die? Cold-blooded old girl. Oh no! Don't you fail me now, Rewind. Maybe it needs more go juice than it had. It's got some. Yeah, the filter's almost out of the fuel. We'll grab some two-stroke. People are definitely gonna think that I'm LARPing as zip ties and bias plies. Don't get me wrong, I love that guy. My Canadian drunk brother from another mother. But a lot of people don't realize there's far more people in the world just like him doing the same hillbilly shit that he does. We're just not often doing it on video. Usually don't want to leave behind proof because we do some dumb shit. It's just whether you can get away with it or not. And usually you only find out about people like that from a viral short video of us doing something stupid. You know, like the videos of the guys, they got an excavator and a rope hanging off of the boom and a tarp laid out, and they tie a inflatable inner tube to it, and they slick everything down with Dawn dish soap, and then they swing the excavator with a buddy on the inner tube at Mach, and then he goes flying. Yeah, it's sort of dumb shit we do. And then, of course, resurrecting junk.
One leg's gone, but his balls are still brass. Raising dead heaps from the junkyard's ass. Grease on his hands, sweat's fucking pouring down. Cussing like a sailor, he's the king of this town.
That's what we do. Come on, girl. Half choke? Come on. We're getting somewhere. God, I love these saws. Got the same one at home, but mine, I broke the Elastastart off of it. Man, she probably ain't running, if I guess. 3-4 years. That wasn't too bad for a cold start. Is that it? Yep, there we go. Wish Push that pin back in. But I don't know if it's in 2 or 4. Does the front drive shaft spin? Okay, front drive shaft spins. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that. That drive line's been cut and sectioned, and very poorly. It's not very round either. Are you gonna fire up? Should still be kind of warm. Did the choke stay closed? No. Why won't you stay closed? There we go. Oh, come on. I would idle it up, but the idle screw doesn't even line up with anything. I don't think that's enough speed. Wonder if we can get it. Let's try high range. It's neutral. That's high. Pump it. That's not all that much faster. There we go. Wow, that tire's nice and round, isn't it? And we'll just let that work everything through there. The whole Jeep is bouncing. Those tires are not round at all. Oh. See? Safety. Well, that one's got a little bit of bearing noise. Or brake noise, who knows? So we'll just let it run for a while and do its thing. Maybe eventually tear that taillight wiring out the rest of the way. All right, that's been circulating for about 30 minutes or so, just with the Jeep idling. And we're gonna let that set overnight, and then we'll drain it out in the morning. I'll bring a jug of 90 weight. Cases are lukewarm. I mean, above outdoor temperature at least. Probably 40, 50 degrees. So we'll let that diesel sit overnight. Well, let's see how we did. Ran it yesterday for a good long while and let it sit overnight. Hopefully the water settled down to the bottom. I got water hanging off the drain plug. That's a good sign. I definitely didn't tighten the drain plug in there. Hopefully we got some pretty clean diesel with water on the bottom. Or we get a lot of milky splashy. Ah! Oh, there's the diesel. Yeah, so I got most of it cleaned out. You could probably do a couple cycles to get the rest of it, but we're just gonna fill it full of 90 weight. Maybe we'll put a couple miles on it and then change it before we go hunting next year. Because this thing doesn't really get driven on the highway. It should be trailered most everywhere it's gonna go. So we'll let that drain, and then we'll... Can I get both of them in the pan? I think I can. I've said that before. Now, the transmission had a lot more diesel in it, so hopefully it cleaned up better. T-case, it's kind of hard to fill it up. But since I can go through the shifter hole, transmission got a lot more. Yeah, that's a lot of water. There's the diesel. Okay. I'm happy with the transmission. And we'll just use this for starting fires. Because you really can't dispose of contaminated fuel or contaminated oil anywhere. What are you doing, Gidget? I'm covered in diesel. Don't come over here. You're not getting pets. There's still a little bit of oil up there. Yeah, I'd say that got it clean enough for what we're doing. I bet this Jeep probably gets 200 miles a year, if that. So since the master was dry on the rear, I'm going to do a brake inspection. Never grab the right size socket. I don't think we've ever looked at the brakes on this since we got it. Hell, for all I know, it hasn't had rear brakes since we got it.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
That master cylinder could have been dry for all of eternity. Who knows? Oh, come on. Never been a fan of these centering lug nuts, but I do love old school turbo wheels. Gives off the General Lee vibes. We know the e-brake don't work, and the drum is fairly loose. Got some mud in it, as one would expect. It's actually got pretty good shoes on it. You can definitely tell we've done some water crossings and some mud with it. But everything is intact. Well, that one's kind of sticky, but we might get away with just bleeding.
You fucking retarded?
And that one's stuck. Wow, one hit. Yeah, that one's definitely been leaking. That wheel cylinder's blowing out, and we got springs hanging. Oh, and there is no adjuster. Sweet. Yeah, there's, what is that? A spring for something. There's no, the adjuster is just gone. It's just not there anymore. Yeah, there's mud in there. Okay, so we have to get wheel cylinders, shoes. This stuff's pretty rusty, so a hardware kit and hopefully the adjuster, because it's not there. I have to start putting together a parts list for this thing. I didn't think we were going to spend money on it. It's been raining over the weekend, and this is exactly how the transmission got filled up with water. Now, I think I've got some shift boots laying around. This disaster needs to be addressed in some way so that at least the transmission and the shifters are covered. So it's going to take a little bit of trimming and cleaning around here, but in an effort to keep everything accessible, I need to build a cover that can go over this. And I think I'm going to take a leaf out of the old Hot Rodders manual. They used to be able to do, you know, motors and transmission swaps, stuff like this. And instead of fabricating from hand a whole new transmission tunnel, what they would do, and I think I got one sitting over here on the other side of the wood pile. Oh yeah, it's still there. I got an old tub off of a wheelbarrow. Hopefully there's no bees under it, but it's pretty cold out, so if there is, hopefully they're not active. But we're gonna chop and section this wheelbarrow. Oh, no dump bees. Cool. There's definitely something living under there though. Yeah, we're gonna chop this up and make a transmission tunnel. I'm not gonna waste your guys' time with fabric cobble in it, but you'll see here in a minute. We'll get it sliced and butchered and make it fit so we can get some shifter boots and get that transmission basically sealed off from the elements. It's gonna be a disaster, but we'll make it work. The old peg leg works in the snow. I just work in the rain. There we go. That'll do. Just a lopped up wheelbarrow tub. Doesn't have to be pretty. More or less the only reason for it is to hold the shifter boot. And it's not perfect, but it's going to keep a whole lot more water out of that transmission than anything else. A couple golf balls, shift knobs. Those boots I had did not work. The Mazda 1 works all right. Like, it doesn't face the right direction, but good enough for the hunting truck. And remember, this isn't a fix. This is a band-aid on the bleeding. This Jeep will get a new tub in time, but I just needed to keep water out of the transmission for now. Made my phone call this morning to the best parts guy ever. If you guys are in the Pacific Northwest, anywhere near Enumclaw, Washington, and you need a guy that can find a part that is obscure, old, not made anymore, you need to go talk to Gary at Mountain View, Napa. Oh, that guy has been the absolute best parts guy I've ever had in my life. He can find anything. So we got all new rear brakes coming. Got an oil filter on the way. He's got an air cleaner I can use. Have to do a little modification, make that work. He's even able, well, he's working on it right now, to find the vacuum modulator that has failed. If you didn't know, these guys have a little part number right there. I guess that's something to do with the amount of degree of throw, because this one's a 6-cylinder, so it only has so much advance in the timing, and V8s run the same modulator, but it's different geometry for more or less advance. Got the axle joint coming that's shot, so we can replace that. Yeah, everything on my parts list. He is a tits out of 10 guy. He's awesome. I've been using him for years, like decades at this point, and he can find the most obscure parts. So got some downtime while I'm waiting on him to accrue everything. I'm gonna yank this steering column out of here, see if I can get it freed up and moving real nice. What are you doing, stun dog? Out here enjoying some sunshine? Being a good pupper? Don't roll in the diesel this time. You retards. Good dogs. You're the good dogs. Holy crap, are you shedding, girl? You're the good dogs. Yeah, yeah, okay, I'm getting back to the Jeep now. No, get out, get out. Go on. His stun dog. Screws in the dash don't want to come out, so we're gonna try and give him some hammer therapy. Love all the rust falling out. Sometimes a little jarring like that is all they need. Don't show that to my Mac Tools truck driver. He won't warranty my junk anymore. I got a feeling I know why the right side blinker isn't working. How do you heat up a frickin' flasher relay? Oh, somebody's beat it with a hammer too. Might just be a broken wire right there where it was chewing on the dash. Oh, and the fuse, yeah. This is what you get to expect on an old truck. Just the way she goes.
That's the way she goes.
That's the way she goes?
That's right. That's the way she goes.
Ta-da! Steering column. With a really tired boot. I guess I didn't even need to unscrew that. Probably just would have pulled through it. Yeah, there's some crispy crunchies going on there. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. It feels like this should just come out of here. Oh wait, do I even need the hammer? What in the world? What is that? Is that electrical tape inside the column? It is. There's electrical tape inside the column. Wonderful. That's definitely a bushing there, and that's probably what was causing all the problems. Okay, how about now? Oh, that looks like a bearing race. And it looks like it just come apart. Does this thing have a toast bearing in it? Yeah, I see ball bearings on the ground. Ruh-roh. Where'd that other one go? Yeah. So the column bearing seized up. That's what I was fighting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reassemble it, but we'll make something work. So that bearing must have been seized up with all the rust on it. Yeah, this will take a little cleaning up. Time to engage the forbidden whisker biscuit. Got to make sure you get your adequate daily supply of rust in your lungs. How else are you supposed to hack out crap all day long? That's all the BBs I could find. Got the bearing housing cleaned up, got it hammered back in place. So I guess we'll just load this edge with grease, stack the bearings in there, and put the collar back in. We got our shaft all cleaned up. I mean, as clean as it's gonna get. The corrosion is pretty gnarly down here. So we'll just have to grease the crap out of this bushing. Doesn't want to come out of there, but I got it pretty well cleaned up. You know, just a rag rebuild like they intended you to be able to do in 1975. So let's see what kind of grease I got. Got some assembly grease. That would, oh no, Lucas Red and Tacky. We got the good stuff. Yummy. And any grease we put in here is way more than it already had. And the grease is not only gonna lube everything, but it's gonna make these bearings stay in place. I don't know if I got them all. I might have to get a magnet out and sweep the ground here. But it sure looks to me like this bearing is supposed to be serviceable, like it just pops apart. I think I found all but one. If you think you lost some, go grab the speaker and use the magnet out of the rickshaw to sift through the dirt from the rest of the project. What are you doing now, girl? What a good dog. This is the not so stunned one. Still pretty stunned, but good dog. Let's see. I'd call that pretty good. Yeah. Nice and quiet, nice and free. That's how the steering should be. And as long as we're waiting on parts, might as well have 3 corners of the Jeep torn apart. I have never seen these before. Sears brand hubs. Interesting. We're gonna get this torn down so we can get that busted U-joint out of there. Maybe with any luck, this one will have all of the washers on the lug nuts. Considering the rears have some of them missing. Holy crap, it does have all of them. That's impressive. Oh, and if you guys never known what a flasher relay looks like inside, this is not what it looks like because it's rotted away. You're going to want your flasher to be full of water underneath the dash. What was rubbing? Oh, the brake line. Oh, it was rubbing a lot. We're gonna have to do a better job of zip tying that. Why isn't that in the frame mount? That's the way she goes, I guess. It's got brand new brakes on it. They're just full of mud. Uh-oh. Somebody ran this thing down to no brakes and chewed the rotor. And then pad slapped it. Perfect. Couple set screws on the outside of the body there, and then the hub selector comes off. Now we'll get the hub body. Nice. Orange silicone. Can't even use Permatex Ultra Gray. Snap ring and an inner hub. Is that the right way to do it? No. But I didn't bring my snap ring pliers today. This is how you do snap rings when you don't have the tool. Just get one edge of it, use a 90-degree pick, and just roll it out of there. Little at a time. Like so. So there's our hub body. But the hub still moves nice and smooth, so we'll just stay over there. And now we got an axle nut, keeper plate that we got to knock loose. We'll have to bring my axle nut sockets tomorrow, but today we're going to tear it apart old school. This is what you would do if you were on the trail. So we'll fold that keeper tab back, and you can see somebody's already done this before. Take your chisel, knock that guy loose. Oh, come on. There's your outer nut. We should have a keeper plate that can come out. Yeah, there. And that has an indexing tab where it goes through the spindle back there. So orientate that the same way. Now, is the inner loose? Yes, it is. It's your outside nut that locks it in place to keep that proper wheel bearing tension. That guy there. Ow, put our hand over the front so we don't lose the bearing, because that bearing was apart not long ago. That grease is very clean. Ugh. It has a secondary keeper. Normally I would pull that out and leave everything in a stack, but today we're just going to take the stack and put it back in. Now we can set this in the back of the Jeep. I'll definitely not forget to cover that up, and it'll rain in it, so that'll be good. Milwaukee for the win. I love this stupid thing. This guy, come off. Don't worry, it's cast iron. You ain't gonna hurt it. And those are the same studs that come all the way from the back. Wow, I can't talk.
I am smart, and I'm self-smarted, basically, by myself.
And hold the spindle on. But that spindle, I bet, has been on there a long damn time. And she's gonna be hard to get off of there. I'm gonna start oiling on this thing and try to get... Now I got caliper bolts falling. Try and get this to break free. There you can see the rust line starting to appear. It's starting to break free. You can get in here with a chisel and help get it moving, but sometimes you'll burr up the back of it, and then you gotta clean all that out. This is gonna take some wailing. Don't ever want to get one side too far. You want to work it side to side. Get it off there as evenly as you can. She's coming now. One Dana 30 spindle. Now we should just be able to slide the axle out. Just like so. Now you can see no bearings. Hopefully it didn't waller out the cap and the end of the axle, but we'll find that out. Pooched. So this has got the old school internal moon clips that retain your U-joint, and these have been in here a long time, so it's pretty much just beat them until they come out. This one wasn't even installed correctly, or it's spun. You can see how it's sitting high down here inside the axle yoke. It's supposed to be right there, not over there. So, and because that's one of the sides that the rollers are gone, I'm hoping it didn't spread that ear out. But we won't know until we try and put the new U-joint in. And if it did spread it out, we're just gonna weld it in, because hunting truck. You could do this with a chisel or a punch, but I like these strike through picks. Been using these for a long time. Beat the snot out of them. So now we're gonna find a socket that fits over top of the cap, and we're gonna hammer it through till you can pull one cap off, hammer it back the other way, pull the other cap off, repeat for the other yoke. It's gonna be a disaster. It always is. U-joints that have gone to the point of being shot, they're usually pretty stuck. And you're gonna want a bigger hammer than this, guarantee you. Get a socket big enough that the cap can fit inside of it. Put that underneath, about like so. And then get you one that fits on top of the cap. And engage your safety squints. And repeat. Over and over again. You see that one's actually coming up already. It's flush, whereas before it was inset. But yeah, you're just gonna do this until it pops apart. Make sure you got it so the cap doesn't hit the wall of that socket. Just like that. So we got our cap. Now this one, the cap came all the way through. Normally you don't want the cap to go all the way through because they normally don't come out. So you're gonna have to put it back in the way it come out. Like that. And then go back to what you're doing before. But don't use the cap. Stupid. As far as that cap wants to go, but normally you can get it to drive all the way through there. Let's see. We'll swivel the U-joint, separate it, and we'll knock that guy the rest of the way out of there. There we go. We got two caps off. Those are the ones that had no bearings in them. Take and hit these ears with some emery cloth. It doesn't look like it was bad for so long that the ears actually started hitting each other. So I think we got lucky that this axle shaft will be fine. Should just need some cleanup. I'm gonna go back to beating on this to separate the rest of the U-joint out of here. So there was some bearings left in the other two caps, but every one of them was bone dry. That's why I hate U-joints that aren't greasable. This one's supposed to be greasable. You can see the hump right there where they can tap it so that you can grease it. But no, they didn't. Always buy greasable joints. That's how you know it's good. And then, of course, what should your coolant look like? Yummy. Just got back from the parts store. Got all of our junk. Heater hoses, belts, thermostat, water pump, axle joints, everything for the rear brakes. Oh, if you guys didn't know, well, that's a bad example. 80/90 is the only fluid that I normally buy at Walmart. It was the cheapest place to get it. But coolant you can find cheap all over the place. But if you need motor oil, the Traveler brand from Tractor Supply. I normally buy the 5-gallon bucket and it's like 78 bucks. So you get, what is that, 20 quarts? Whereas if you go to like the gas station, a quart of oil is like 10 bucks. But they had the 5-quart jug on sale for $12. Boom, We're all reassembled. Did everything properly. Definitely replaced that rotor that's all chewed to shit on the backside. It's a Wheeler, it's fine. These Sears hubs. So we'll go lock. Axle shaft spitted with the new U-joint. Unlock. No spinny. So we got everything put together, right? We'll slap the brakes back on it. Good enough for the once in, I don't know, every 3 years this thing might do 50 miles an hour. It's probably never going to come out of third gear low range, if I'm being honest. I like to get all uppity when they see some hillbilly. Doesn't matter if it's on a lube tube or just on the side of the road fixing his own junk. And it's already junk. I mean, could you take it to a shop and have somebody do it? Oh, hell yeah, you could. But number one, we ain't got money like that. Number two, if you look at just the amount of things I've already notated on this Jeep and what I'm fixing, just to make it a hunting truck, just to make it reliable. No hillbilly would ever look at this vehicle knowing how to work on his own shit and put that kind of money into it. Not at today's shop prices, not the price of labor, not the price of the markup on the parts. He's gonna go home and fix it himself. And like, I may have been a professional mechanic in my career over several years, and I know how to do this stuff, but I grew up doing it hillbilly style, just like this. Every time I sold a vehicle, I was upfront and honest with everything I ever did on it. I kept my integrity behind all of it. Is it gonna break the bank to throw rotors on this? No, but it's gonna add a whole lot of time pressing out the bearings, putting them in the new hub, swapping over the spindle assembly, re-greasing everything, new seals, new spindle bearings, doing it proper if the vehicle dictates it. This hunting truck wheel-in rig, I highly doubt this vehicle will ever see highway use. Well, I mean, I might take it to the parts store here and there, but it's never going to see more than 55 miles an hour. And what a lot of people don't understand, these older rigs, I mean, look at the tack. She tops out at 90, and they never did that speed. I don't think these are capable of doing that speed in stock form. Yeah, once the guys swap a V8 and turbo 350 and all that, there's a chance that they might hot rod on it once in a while. But back when these things were built, 1975, dude, the speed limit was 55. We didn't do 60, 70 miles an hour like we do today. These vehicles aren't meant for that. Hell, this was designed off of a World War II chassis. Hardly anything's changed. These were meant for off-road, beat on it. Anybody can fix it on the side of the highway with a minimal toolkit and get you where you need to go. Quit worrying about making everything perfect. It doesn't have to be. It just has to function to what you need the vehicle to do. This one's going to get trailered. It's not getting driven on the freeway. It's never going to do 60 miles an hour. And even if it did, you ain't got to worry about it. Because you should probably be aware, if you see a 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s vehicle driving down the road next to you, it's probably in about this kind of condition. Unless, you know, guys got deep pockets and it's already been restored and everything. But it ain't going to be the case of something you see when you see this rolling down the road, you know? You see that flip-flopping as it's coming by you, just let it go. Don't worry about it. Not your problem. Not your circus. Not your monkeys. Got enough Karens running around in the world screaming, "How dare you!
How dare you!"
We don't need more of that. Enjoy the fact that some old guy is getting his Jeep fixed because his son cares enough to get it for him. There's worse things in life to be worried about. Now, if you're dealing with a stuck brake line, well, you can already see it's on fire. If you're dealing with a brake line that's stuck into the wheel cylinder, just heat the puppy up, especially if you don't have your fancy flare nut wrench with you. Just heat it up, work it back and forth. It'll eventually crack free, and then usually vehicles of this vintage, you'll deal with the brake line stuck inside the fitting, and it's trying to move the whole line. More heat, little penetrating oil, more heat. Just go back and forth. It'll eventually break free. That's the good stuff. Now, before I go to slamming wheel cylinders on that thing, I want to blow air through the lines, because I know the schmoo that was in the clutch system. So we're going to do everything we can to get the schmoo out of the brake system instead of blasting it right into the brand new wheel cylinders. Stupid little nugget box. Little Chinese welders are freaking awesome, man. We're going to try not to get the brake line hot. You just want to get that fitting hot. That's good to breathe in too. I'll put some hair on your chest. Get as much schmoo off the threads as we can. That's definitely partially rounded off. Being a Jeep, this thing's supposed to be standard, so I'm betting a 14mm is going to fit better than the 9/16 it had. Try and tighten a little bit, little loosen, little tighten, little loosen. Get it moving. Some more go juice. Try and get it inside that fitting. You can see it's still trying to yank the line back and forth, but it's coming. And this is the same thing you go through on the rears. Oh, it's a battle. It's a struggle. You'll probably twist one off once in a while when you get impatient with it. But trust me, enough heat and enough penetrating oil, you can get just about anything to come loose. Don't heat it up so much that you cook the seals in the master cylinder, and it's kind of a balancing act. But you work on junk for as long as I have, you figure out all of these little tricks of the trade. Yeah, there was a lot of corrosion going on the inside there. Now, if she's real stuck on the line and doesn't want to break free like this one just did, what you can do is, once you get the line out, heat up the fitting so it expands on the line. And don't burn yourself, but get your box end on there and work it back and forth. It'll break all that schmoo. It'll get it spinning freely. There we go. Now we can blow the schmoo out of the back lines. Make sure all that junk just goes right onto all your tools. Fuck's sake. Well, that's not the way that's supposed to be. We can fix that. Your brake parts are bent. Whale them with a hammer.
Be a man.
They'll straighten out. There's a lot of people in the world that legitimately, maybe even ones that come across my video, that don't know how much of a hack job I'm being right now. And that's fine. You can be not knowing what you're doing on these old Jeeps. You'll probably still be able to figure it out. These were fixed on the side of the road in a war zone by untrained mechanics that had no idea what they were doing on a vehicle that was built by the cheapest bidder for the US government. And they were able to make it work. I mean, legitimately, they probably just would have pinched off the brake line and ran it with just front brakes. Kind of like the guy before my dad got it was doing. No rear brakes, just run the fronts. Keep it a low range, you're fine. Worst case scenario, if your line is stuck inside the brake fitting, but you got the fitting to crack loose from the wheel cylinder, just real carefully spin the wheel cylinder off of the brake line. You're probably going to distort the hard line a little bit doing this, but that's fine. There's far worse things that can happen, like twisting off the end of the line, having to go get one made, buying the tool to make it yourself if you don't already own it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. But this is a tried and true method, and I'll show you what to do when I get her off of there. And by far the easiest way to do this is a pop diff cover. Take the C-clip out, center pin, whatever you got to do to slide the axle shaft out, and then it's not in your way. But I'm way too hard-headed to even take my own advice, so I'm instead just going to manipulate the hard line several times to get it in position and fight it the entire way, because you're watching an idiot. And this is how I do things, because I don't want to do a diff service on this, and I don't have a clean pan to be able to drain the fluid into. So I'm gonna go on Struggle Street of my own accord, because that's what I do. I can tell you how to do it the right way. I can tell you how to do it the wrong way. Or you could follow me and do it the hardest way possible and have your badge of honor of being the stupidest mechanic. But I am telling you, it does work. Just like that. This has already been soaked in penetrating oil just from getting it broke free out of the master. Now we're going to go to heat. Now the trick is, you don't want to heat up the brake line. You only want to heat the fitting. So a real small flame, maybe like so, and you're going to focus on the fitting. Aim it more towards this way. You're going to heat that fitting until it's a dull red color. It's going to take a minute. Depends on what kind of torch you're using. I'm using propane.
I'm about to bust.
Because it's cheap. MAP gas is a lot hotter and it'll work a lot quicker. Just gonna heat and heat and heat. All the penetrating oil that was on it is gonna flash off, and you'll see it start getting to be a dull red color. Most of your heat is at the tip of your flame, like out here, where you get a little bit more control if you're up close. You just keep heating it. What we're trying to do is make that fitting expand on the brake line. If you do end up getting the brake line itself hot, because it is a thin piece of steel, cool it down with your penetrating oil to make it shrink and it'll harden back up. You could say that I'm probably annealing the lines right now, but guess what? Brake lines are already really, really soft to start with. That looks about good. So we'll cool down the brake line. And get the wrench on here. Grab the brake line way back here where it's not hot, and look at that. She's freed up. We're just gonna turn it, spin it, let it work all that rust and corrosion and schmoo out of there. It's a little bit hot, don't touch it. But as it cools down, feed it penetrating oil in between the flare and the fitting. And that'll help to break that stuff up. Now, is your hard line a little bit malformed? Yeah. Guess what? It's fine. I'd be more concerned about the 1975 rubber line right there exploding the first time I hit the brake pedal after these are bled and the binders actually come on. So don't be too concerned about it. This is just a methodology. This is junkyard style. This is Hillbilly 101. You have what you have and you have to make it work. Or you're on that lethally poor train and you don't want to have to go buy new brake lines. Once again, what is the vehicle doing? What do you need it to do? This, even if it blows out the rear brakes, it's still got fronts, which work pretty good, even though one rotor's really screwed up. And at the same time, by the time I'm done here, the Jeep's literally going to have 50% more brakes than it had since the day we bought it. If I end up having to replace the soft line or even a hard line down the road, not a big deal. She's still toasty, but she's spinning pretty good. Ow. So there you go. That's how you get stuck brake lines off without wrecking everything. We'll find out if we got a washer laying around that'll fit this last lug nut. So we'll dig out the rust bucket, or as I like to call it, the bin of dreams, because it's only dreams. It's once in a very rare blue moon you find what you need in this bucket. But you don't know until you try. See if I can stir up a washer. Maybe I'll have to make one, I don't know. You can't even tell it's a lock washer when it's in there. Alright, so these brakes are turning into an absolute debacle. I've got the rears complete and went to bleed them. I got no fluid coming out of the, well, if you didn't know, on these old systems, your front brake pot is your rear brakes. Your rear brake pot is your front brakes. The front brakes work fine on this thing. You see I got new fluid in there. I made sure I didn't have the air bubble trapped, and I've tried to bench bleed it right here on the truck. I got no fluid coming out. But every time I hit the brakes, it shoots fluid out of the front brake pot and just blows brake fluid all over the place. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that. I got one on order. Might as well move along and get the cooling system flushed out. So I just got the heater in bypass, feeding it with garden hose, and we'll just let it run through a couple heat cycles, hopefully until that comes out clean. It's gonna make a giant mess in the meantime, but should be good to go once she's all flushed out and done. See, it's just ready to cut a guy's arm off. Watch your fingies. Yeah, there's some slack in that bearing. That's good enough to put in the spare parts box. That'll get you home. That's a nice spacer. Oh, probably something to do with the GM one-wire alternator. What a basic little water pump. You saw this new shit where you got 9 different hoses coming off of it and 3 or 4 different weep holes, and yeah, modern engineering disasters. Looks like I got most of the crap flushed out of the block. It's actually pretty clean in there. Not bad. Compared to the schmoo that was coming out of it, you can see it just piled up rust everywhere. I've already got like 2 hours between flushing the heater core and the radiator and the block, trying to get all of that sediment out of there. Little thermostat. Thermostat was actually working, but it's definitely been ingesting rust for a while. You see, my problem is, usually it's where somebody else gives up on a project is usually where I start. I think I'm getting closer, and then more and more of the Jeep gets blown apart. My goodness.
Looks like shit.
Is this old girl in rough shape? And I did all that just to get to the frame crack that I'm going to weld up. People, these old Chinese nugget box inverter stick welders, these things are the ticket, man. I mean, I'm not much of a rod burner, but gouge it out, drill a hole at the end of the crack so it doesn't keep spreading, and give it a triple pass to some old 6011. I'll get the job done. I'll hold it way better than, well, the nothing that was holding it. Kind of like the nothing holding the fenders. But a couple self-tappers will fix that up. I get it on video and nobody can call me crazy. So I got my power probe. I can apply ground and I can apply power and I can check for voltage. So right here on the outlet, I've got ground. The yellow wire right here, this is our turn signal sense. The blue wire is the running lights. Turn at the left side turn signal. I have ground. Go to the yellow wire. And I've got power. Sensing 11.8 volts. Now I'm going to pull the wires back and I'm going to verify for you guys real quick that this bulb is good, and I have cleaned the crap out of the contacts. Continuity, continuity. So that's the low beam, that's the high beam. So we've got power and ground. We know we have a good bulb. I'm going to pull the wires back inside of its connector, and we'll put the bulb in. Should be turning on because it has power and ground. Absolutely nothing. You watched me verify it. This is the struggles of electrical diagnostics. Couldn't find my test light, so I smashed up one of the junk tail lights, and it only has one good element, but good enough for a 12-volt test light. And I'm fighting with no signal to the left rear turn signal, but I got the front blinking. So now I've hobbled this as a test light. Yay! Now I just have to find out where the wire's broken. Oh, the way of the project. Sometimes the things that you just tore out, went through and fixed, and put back in, this time around being the steering column, has to come right back out so that you can chase the next problem. This one, I'm betting you can tell by the casing of that wire, is what got burnt by this green wire overheating that we've already cut out and replaced. And now I'm dissecting the harness because whatever it melted in here has taken out the turn signals. Fun.
Not.
This is the part that nobody shows you. And to be honest, I don't know why they would. This is the most tedious crap of any kind of put it back on the road, revive and drive. If they're trying to make it a long-term viable fix. Like with this one, I'm trying to get all the wiring to work. So I'm having to pull out every single connector, and this is just for the tail lights. Wire brush it, get the scum off of it, and back to the Leatherman. Tedious work. Get it all cleaned up just to reassemble it and hope that it has a better connection. Because in 1974-75, there's no gaskets on this. Look how nasty those things are. I've still got to do the bottom two, and I've got the top three done. I've already done this side of the harness. You know, we're 20 minutes into cleaning electrical connectors, and the best I can hope for is shove it full of electrical grease and put it back together and hope that the taillights work. Day 3 of trying to fix this absolute wiring nightmare disaster of several previous owners that should not own fusible links, crimp connectors, or electrical tape. I have had this entire harness apart now. I have replaced 3 burnt wires in it to get just the turn signals to function. I have had to take apart every single switch on it because it was all seized. The only ones I didn't mess with is the headlight switch, which I just added in a jumper wire so that all of the dash lights would work. And I didn't mess with the wiper switch, which is seized up because this Jeep doesn't have wires. Well, it's got the wires, but it doesn't have wipers. So, okay, now I think I can put the dash back in and perform a full light check. Spent all day working on Dad's Jeep, all electrical. It's all I've been doing all day. Actually, the last 3 days. Down the highway in my little rickshaw, my little Geo Metro, and all of a sudden the heater starts blasting heat like never before, while simultaneously smelling like burning electrical. And that lasted for about the last 2 miles, and I'm pretty sure the heater just let out all the magic smoke because it really reeks like burning in here. And yeah, there's no fan anymore. Oh, yeah, there's cooked connectors. It's just turning on and off. Oh, that smells lovely. I'm complaining about these blackberries constantly because they're everywhere. They got tangled up in my wires when I was doing stuff. But this is some next level blackberry dedication. It's growing inside the door handle on the half door of the Jeep. I'm surprised it hasn't made it through, but it's locked up the door handle because the roots are inside the hinge. Man, these things suck, but the berries are good though. Doors up, oh, maybe 8 years ago at the swap meet. They say they're for a CJ5, it fits the body line, but I have no idea what these hinges were set up for. The spacing was all sorts of wrong. So I had to move all the hinges around. They're kind of bent up. They're held in with self-tappers. And Best Top doesn't support this door anymore, even though it's a Best Top product, because they don't use this latch mechanism anymore. So they don't sell the striker assembly, which I didn't get with the doors. So some 1/8 inch bent up sheet metal. That'll do. Look at that. And now when we get where we're going hunting, slow them in the back, good to go. Oh, I really did a good job tightening that screw, didn't I? Before I quit on the Jeep for today, I'm gonna try and see if I can rob the blower motor out of the Toyota, put it in the rickshaw. You definitely need this blown up ATC 125 engine and a 3/4 socket set in your 2-wheel drive Toyota. That's mandatory junk. Oh, and the Kenworth hood hinges. Unhappy. Come on, Toyota, pull through for a guy. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know whoever would need to know this, but an 84 Toyota pickup blower motor fits in a 91 Geo Metro. Man! On the Jeep finally. Took us a month to get the right water pump. Turns out AMC used 5 different water pumps and only 3 of them are built anymore. So we had to get a little creative and build a spacer to get belt alignment correct. That's why we were sidetracked with all the electrical. But I think we can finally put coolant in this thing. And I dinked around with the choke a little bit. The spring on the heated choke was on the wrong side. So I think somebody was messing with that carb at some point. Hopefully the choke will work now, and we won't have to dink around with ether to get this thing fired when it's cold. All right, see if choke does choke stuff. Good morning, Jeep. Sounds like that battery's about dead. Why are you on? Okay, booster's on. That's it, maybe. I'm gonna guess that means the choke is working, but we'll let it warm up for a bit and start bleeding the cooling system and see if the idle comes down. Making a decent amount of heat. How bad is that exhaust manifold cracked? All of it. It's never run so good. And that's with a vacuum leak. We're still waiting on the vacuum modulator for the timing advance. Oh, maybe that's why it runs so good. I had the timing advanced. Let's see. Kind of sluggish. Yep. Runs pretty good. Got the cooling system bled. New spark plug wires and plugs. New master cylinder. It's finally got an air filter. Been a lot of work to get to this point. We'll get a proper battery for it, and this thing's pretty much ready to go for next hunting season. It's not that hot. Oh, I think we need to put some fuel in the tank. Take this girl for a road test. All right. Top speed run. Starting second. Come on. A little rough getting back into third. What's the use in having a welded diff if you don't use it? Not a 5-speed. Pretty loud.
Nelson, you all right? What?
Brakes work pretty good. It kind of sounds like the throwout bearing is touching the fingers on the clutch, and it's definitely pretty growly. But for a hunting truck, you know, this is what you would be doing. You know, here's a deer trail or whatever, and then you can even put it in low range and really enjoy the trip. And I got to test out 4-wheel. I do love me a good welded diff. Still waiting for the vacuum advance. We're just leaving the timing advanced right now, so she's a certified ripper. Next weekend is the 4-wheel swap meet, and I'm gonna be keeping an eye out. We're looking for a tub, we're looking for seats, possibly a coolant bottle, odds and ends, things that'll really pull it together. Maybe a front clip that isn't welded, sheet metal tap screwed back together. Yeah, there's still a few more things it needs. She's ready to go as a hunting truck right now. She is a certified ripper at this point. For an inline 6, this thing hauls ass, you know, to the whopping 45 miles an hour that the gearing will let it do. But for pounding around in the mountains, there's a lot of growling going on, but we'll look into that later. That door definitely flies open, so I'm gonna have to slide that latch ahead a little bit. There's too much flex because the tub is all cracked. So if you hit a bump in the road, the door just flies open. And maybe we need some fender flares, you know, more than the one that it has. But overall, I'm calling this a success. This thing was dead when I got here, and it's completely street legal now. Yeah, there's a lot of bumps and bruises. You know what? She's an old girl. She's earned her keep. If you've watched this far into the video, I really appreciate you. I recently got monetized, so I'm gonna try and put some more effort into YouTube videos. Actually, we're looking at the next one. That's a 56 Alice Chalmers HD5. We're getting that resurrected right now. It's got a laundry list of problems. We get it when it's already junk, like this Jeep was, and we turn it into something. Doesn't mean it's something good, but we turn it into something from nothing. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.